Hi, welcome back to Feminism on Trial. Normally, I probably wouldn't make videos on a day like today. I have one of these monster headaches that I get that I'm positive must be from the good old multiple sclerosis beast, and they can take me out for 3 to 5 days. The worst thing about it, actually, when it happens, is when I can't stay engaged with different men who are in crisis situations or situations with women that they sort of need help with or support with, and then I kind of go off the map for maybe 5 days, and then I feel really bad. Although they're very understanding, but I feel bad. So I'm going to attempt to make a video anyway. I am medicated with some nothing like dangerous, but just over the counter stuff that helps a little bit. So we're gonna try to do this. Starting off with saying that I don't know why I was so late to the party that I did not know about Kevin Samuels until the last probably month or two. I don't know how that he just escaped me, but I found him, like I said, about a month ago or so, and I'm pretty obsessed with watching his old shows that he did. May he rest in peace. It's so sad that we lost him. We need his voice. But thankfully there is a lot of his content still available where, women would call in and he would talk to them about dating and etc. If you know, you know. But the part I want to talk about right now is when he talks to the women who they call in as if they already agree with things that he says, and that they're looking for his particular advice in their situation. And so it seems like it's going a certain way and it's all going to be amiable, and it really goes off the rails pretty quickly because they begin to be argumentative, disagreeable, and then you start thinking, well, do you even watch his show? Like, why do you think you agreed with him? Oh, probably because she's special. The rules apply to everybody else, but she's the exception. That's what I'm getting, is I think all these women that call in are like, yeah. They can't get a high value man, but I can. I'm like, you all think that. And another thing I just want to say right out of the way is he does specifically talk about, black men and black women. I can definitely say that the things so far that he talks about what black women want and expect, etc., I don't see any difference in what white women, are wanting and expecting. And he does say it's the lie that feminism sold you, that you could, wait till you're 35 to get married and, have babies, etc., and that you can just express your sexual freedom and be as much of a 304 in your 20s as you want to, and that's not going to matter. But of course it does. And of course men don't want a 304. They don't want that. This seems to be news to a lot of these women. But the point that I want to talk about right now that he makes a lot, and at this point it is a little comical because he's got a soundboard, and he's got the soundboard of a dog barking, and he uses that because basically these women, if they call in and they're 35 or they're getting up there in the age where you just don't have the choices that you had when you were 22, and these women are like still expecting, this high earning, certain type of man that they've conjured up in their mind, even though they don't know any of those men, they were never raised around any of those men, but in their minds, that's what they're going to have and that's what they deserve. And they think that they'd be settling if they were going to be with an average man. So it gets to the point where Kevin Samuels will press his soundboard and it'll arf, arf. Okay, he'll tell them, then buy a dog and die alone. And I like to think of myself as a fairly intelligent person. But I watch, several of these shows where he's telling these women, buy a dog and die alone. And I'm sort of like, oh, this is good material. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, she should listen. Or I know how she got there, et cetera, et cetera. And then at some point in time, I look over at my dog Lola and I'm like, wait a minute. I have a dog. And right now I'm still living alone. My man's not here yet. Go back some videos, you'll see I'm in love with a MGTOW man. You'll see if you go back in those videos. It's too much to summarize here. So I was like, okay, well, am I with my dog dying alone? And I like had a little mini crisis. And I thought, I'm the same as these women. Now, I didn't have my 304 days. I didn't do that. I always told myself, well, I knew I didn't have anything to bring to the table because having MS, I knew, who would want me, who would want to take that on. I'm not going to be able to keep up. I'm not going to be able to do, enough in the relationship. I'm not going to be able to keep the home the way it should be kept or cook, every single day. Like, I just was like, I am not worthy of this, of anybody. So that's fine. I'll see myself out. Well, I'm 45 and I'm like realizing just the last several days, oh, that was the wrong attitude to have. My parents never spoke to me about being a wife one day, never spoke to me about my future children, never did that. My dad talked about, oh, you're going to be the first, female editor of the Chicago Sun-Times, and you're going to do all this, you're going to be an advertising agent on Madison Avenue in New York. Like, he was just like rah, rah, rah for all of the career highlights. That was before I left school to follow my real dream of being a horse trainer. But even then, he was like, okay, well, if you're going to be a horse trainer, here's the type of property you should have to do it. He wanted me to succeed in business, in my career. There was never any talk about finding a husband or anything like that. And then when I got sick, and I would voice, nobody's gonna want me. They might argue in my parents' meeting, like, oh, no, that's not true, da, da, da. But they never said, look, Erin, look, you need to realize that you're saying this about people. You need to give them the opportunity to say that, because there are good people in this world that will look past that and realize that, yeah, so you've got this thing, but you're worthy in all these other ways, and here's also why you're valuable. and that that I should prioritize, finding a man, finding a husband, to do life with. I mean, even though, an MS diagnosis is supposedly, life sentence, I don't think they needed to say it just like, well, you'll need someone to take care of you, because you know what? And yeah, I'm 45 and I'm realizing this. We all need somebody to take care of us. Yeah, need. Okay, I use need the way women use the word need. Maybe we don't need it. Men certainly don't need it. But, who wants to be all alone? The other thing too is, I don't have any grandkids. Where's my family? Where's my family? Where are they? Oh, that's right. I didn't make one. I, not only, like many other women of my generation and the generation after me, the millennials, I was never taught to prioritize having a family, like finding a husband and being a good wife to him, and making children and looking forward to grandchildren. Not only was I not taught to prioritize that, I was taught through school and music and television and every way they feed us propaganda. I was taught that prioritizing those things was wrong. Wanting those things was a weakness. Imagine that. Imagine that. But that's my generation. And like I said, and the ones younger and a little bit the ones older. We women, we were taught career's the only thing that's really valuable. That's where you'll find your fulfillment. Well, guess what? When you're 45 or 50 or 55 or 60, it's not keeping you company. It's not warming your heart the way it was sort of sold to you that it would. You just go, all right, well, I spent Thanksgiving by myself. I spent Christmas by myself. I spent Easter by myself. Now, I'm not looking for sympathy. I created this life. I made these choices. I made these choices that have led me to where I am. But I'm not the only woman in this sort of predicament that we've created for ourselves by following the lies of feminism. There's a lot of women, and a lot of these women who are filing for divorce because they think it's going to be awesome and they're going to have all these suitors. And no, you're not. No, you're not. Your kids are going to grow up and they're going to move away, and they're not going to have the sense of, family. You broke the family. You're going to be alone. There's going to be a lot of women who are alone in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And as they get older and it gets harder and harder for them to continue to work, because no matter what the equalists tell you, I really should just call them the sameists, we're not the same. Women were not built to work the way men were built to work. We're different. And to make it to 65, and then what jobs do we really have as women? We don't have like these big retirement funds. This is a looming crisis. We've got a lot of women that are getting up there in age, and they're gonna have to do like what Kevin Samuel says and buy a dog and die alone. And wow. I mean, I thought about all of my peers and the women, and this one that's on my mind right now. Like, I regularly talk to the ex, and this woman who's filing for divorce. I'm just like, lady, you're making a big mistake and you don't even know it. What do you think is out there? It's insane. The men, I know the men are damaged. I know they're hurt. I know they've been thrown away, and it's awful. But what the women have done in throwing away these perfectly wonderful men is about to come back and bite them. Because women can't do the alone thing as well as the men can. So I think some of these women are about to get their comeuppance. Including me, maybe. Thanks. Be well.